And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is round number 6 of the MEA GT Championship Series here at COTA, Circuit of the Americas. I'm SSR Mayhem, tonight bringing you the live action as we prepare for 28 laps of green flags, no caution racing. And it's been an interesting season so far, but let's get ready for the starting lineups. One of the drivers having issues prior to race time, and that's championship contender ESV Bobberts, defending champion of the series, and right now having connection problems, so something to keep an eye on here today. So let's do the lineup right in front of us. We got a few minutes or so before we're going to get this thing going. It is ESV Bobberts starting on the first position. We talked about his connection issues just a little bit ago, so we're waiting for him to get in here. Then it's ESV Barcode in the second spot. Barcode in the second spot, driving the M6. In the third spot, it's points leader RZM Sean in the M3 here tonight. In the fourth spot, it's I almost butchered myself there for a minute, but it's Adler Girl IG in the Jaguar. In the fifth spot, it's going to be RZM Stiggy. Stiggy having one of the best qualifyings he's had all season long. In the sixth spot, it's Diamond Man 2014. Both those drivers in the Jaguar, as well as Bobberts, who is back in and is your pole sitter. In the eighth spot, or in the seventh spot, it's supposed to be SMXJ Yankee. I don't see Yankee here, and I don't see, it doesn't look like Savitar as well. We're going to get those drivers invites into the race lobby just in case they're having issues. I'm probably blind. I'm not on the screen. I'm sending an invite to Yankee. Sorry, Savitar is actually like right here. I don't know why I had him way up there, but actually Savitar will be in the 8th spot in qualifying, but will start 7th overall today. And then it's going to be Proud 78 in that 8th spot. Following Proud is RZX JJ Reds in the 9th position. Riddle U in the 10th spot. Jaguar M3 RSR, the first RSR we see there tonight is Riddle U. Then it's going to be HDR Benz, who's not with us currently. And then Halo, who's not here. So JRFE Blade, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be in that 11th position in the M3. And then it's going to be RZX Warren 57, also in the M3. In the 13th spot, it's going to be RZX Grimmer, driving the Porsche RSR. And then we got RZX Grimmer again, a Sparky Motors, who is also in an M3. We got quite a bit of M3s and Jags here tonight. XMS Wheelman would have been the 18th car, but was disqualified for qualifying, driving an illegal car. So he'll have to start the rear of the field if he makes it. So AMS Design in the M6 will start in that 15th spot. AMSB Shadow did not qualify and was a last-minute registration entry for tonight, so he starts at the tail end of the field. It looks like we're about ready to go. And we're just going to get the word from the MEA staff members of JJ Reds and ESV Bobberts. So we'll get knowledge of that here soon. And then the good old pace car, which we don't have actually out there on the track because it's green till the end. Me, woohoo! So we got 28 laps, 2 mandatory stops here tonight. It's a night race, the first night race of the series. I don't know if we have another one later this season. I don't have the schedule in front of me right now, but I do know this is the first. We've had 2 rain races up to this point of the season, so out of the first 5 weeks, we've seen 2 weathered conditions races, and actually were some of the best races we've seen this season, one of them being a short track. And our first night race at a track that can be questionable at times, but nonetheless can really be a difference factor. It's very technical. It's a big, long track. It extends out, so we're going to see probably some spaced out racing throughout the race, but the big factor is this nighttime conditions. How are the drivers going to adjust to those conditions? Some of the drivers on the hood view, third-person view. Some are in the cockpit. So you just got to see how these drivers adjusted and hitting those curbs. Some of these drivers have specific tunes set up. How high is the car? How low is the car? This is all to homologated specs, so they can tune and get these cars the way they want. But here we go. We're at the second point of the season, over the halfway point of the season. Round number 6 is green flag. ESV Bombers leads the way as we head off into lap number 1 here at Circuit of the Americas. And ESV Bombers going into turn 1. He goes side by side with his teammate ESV Barcode. 3 wide. It's Sean. That's Girl, and I don't know who that is on the outside. That's RZM Stiggy. They're going 3 wide heading into the S section. Let's hop on with RZM Stiggy, having one of his best qualifyings of the season. He has to let off just right there as Girl's able to hang to the inside. They're still side by side almost through the S section. RZM Sean able to get out of the mix and distance himself from the pack. It's Diamond 2014 in the back going side by side with Proud 78. And Proud to the inside right there. Looks like he's going to take over that spot. And they're finally paneling out single file here. And it looks like everybody, for the most part, has gotten through okay. RZX Grimmer, the car in the back, 16th spot, looks like he might have got a little bit out of sorts right there. But so far, everyone was able to kind of get out of Dodge. RZM Sean already to the back bumper of the M6 of ESV Barcode. So your manufacturers are the Jaguar, the M6, and the M3. As we head into this first lap, Girl also in the Jag. She's in the 4th spot, catching up, and so is RZM Sticky in the 5th spot. Meanwhile, in the back of the pack, I see Riddle U going to work right now in the 8th spot. And he was able to get by. I believe that was, well, no, it wasn't Proud today. I think they're battling with SMX Saboteur, who's right there in the mix. We hop on with JJ Reds in this battle. AMSB Shout, he started at the tail end of the field. JJ gets really wide right there. And B Shadow so far able to dip and dive through the field. He's already up inside the top 10 off of lap number 1. It's AJ Reds. Oh man, he lost control of the car. Good save by JJ Reds, but he loses all types of positions right there. And he'll fall back quite a bit, but we hop on with JRFB Blade, and he gets real deep into the corner. Off of the exit he goes. JRFB Blade right here, ladies and gentlemen. Currently running in the 11th spot. JJ Red's battling with his teammate right now behind them. That's RZX Warren 57 as they head into turn number 1, both driving the M3 as they come off of it. Side by side, JJ Reds gets the run and will retain that spot in 12th position. Riddle U looks, I believe, there was a few RSRs in qualifying, but I believe Riddle U's the only RSR driver in the field for the race here today. The reason why we highlighted it, it's one of the 4 cars you can select. So the M3 and the M6 are the 2 BMWs allowed for today's event. The Porsche RSR and the Jaguar, all 4 were legal cars for today as AMS Design in the M6 throws it to the inside. And he hits the, oh man, AMS Design, AMSB Shadow getting through the field, and Design, no paint scheme on the car. Tough break for him. That's probably going to be a points penalty reduction in the standings, but nonetheless, pretty impressive. He started at the tail end of the field, so did B Shadow inside the top 10 and moving forward. And Design came out with the M6 here today, one of the few in the field. I'll top up to the front as the leaders not too far from one another. Bobberts, Barcode, and Sean. This is probably the closest we've seen these 3 all season long. Girl right there in the picture too. Don't forget about her. She's not far off from this group. As we said, as we expected, the single filing has begun. So you're going to have to look for mistakes if you're a driver putting the pressure on to the man or woman in front of you. Bobberts, who hasn't seen a win yet this season, got the pole this week and is still leading this one. Felt really good coming into the race tonight. And Bobberts feels like this could be his opportunity this week to finally gain and catch up in the point standings against RZM Sean, who's currently searching for his first championship this season, or this year I should say, in MEA, in any series. It's going to be a tough task, but the big question today is how are these drivers going to use their pit stops? They have 2 mandatory stops in this race, so unlike in the previous races where we've seen 1 or no pit stops, today we're going to see 2, and we're going to see if these drivers use them to their advantage or not. Right now, Sean looks really good, really solid in the car. Is hunting down Barcode after a tough start off the line. Adler Girl still in striking distance. Diamond 2014, he's in the 5th spot. Oh, we might have lost the driver. Roberts was having issues. Hello, Bracco. And I wonder if that was Bobberts. He was having all sorts of connection issues. Nope, Bobberts is still in the race. But somebody had a connection issue right there, and we're not sure exactly who that is. That was RZX Grimmer. RZX Grimmer out of the race. And tough break for him getting back into the racing scene here at MEA. And he's going to have to try to come back next week, it looks like, as that car will go to the garage. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Anybody that's new to the channel. I'm SSR Mayhem. You're looking at and watching round number 6 here at COTA, Circuit of the Americas, as we are at the over the halfway point of the series. Right now, you're seeing the top 3 drivers in the series. Barcode, who's missed the first week of competition, has seen a winner to this season. RZM Sean, he's got a couple wins under his belt, but the one man that doesn't have a win yet this season is the man leading it. That's ESV Bobberts, currently out there, and it's starting to gain away from these guys, looks like, just a little bit, as he tries to catch back up in the points and hasn't gotten that elusive win that he'd probably hoped to have by now. And he missed a week in racing, got points for qualifying, but it's really tough with the way that the point system is set up here at MEA to come back from a missed race, especially if you got no points for that week. I mean, you got to make sure that you do everything that you can to make every race, and if not, make sure you're trying to get those points, because as long as you qualify, you'll get some sort of point. And Sean's still working on it, but let's move through the field here. Let's take a look, see what's going on out there. Doesn't look like there's much going on there. It looks like a little battle between Sparky Motors and Warren. Stiggy and Proud took pit stops. Warren looks like he got by Sparky Motors right there. Hop on board. Oop, I didn't get to cover myself there. I do apologize. Let's hop back up to the front. We'll hop back on with Barcode, currently trying to fend off RZM Sean, who's been putting pressure on him all race. And I think Sean might have the faster of the two right now, as Diamond's slowly catching up to Adler Girl. And, you know, Bobberts, he's been out front. Has gotten a little bit on these guys, but hasn't pulled significantly. And you got to think, You know, they're not battling yet. You know, all three of those drivers are pretty patient. But you got to think that they're paying attention to one another. You should be able to kind of start scooting away a little bit. And I just think all three of them are pretty equally matched. They all didn't get the best of starts at the beginning of this race, especially RZM Sean, who was battling 3 wide with Adler Girl and Stiggy at the start of that race. And Stiggy, who got a great launch, had taken a pit stop not long ago to try to separate himself from the field and possibly make some gains. You know, you look at the race map here, and you could see where they're at. I mean, Stiggy's coming up on the cars up front that are the slower cars on track. Let's hop on with Stiggy and see what he does here as everyone's kind of spaced out. We'll check back into the front of the pack, but right now they're pretty single filed up. Stiggy starting to reel in Sparky Motors right here. Let's hop on board with Stiggy. Warren and Sparky Motors, they've been battling the last few weeks together. Last week, Sparky got the better of the 2 drivers at Nürburgring. Warren must have made a significant mistake, and oh man, look at the braking difference between Sparky Motors and RZM Stiggy, and that's a great move by RZM Stiggy right there. Stiggy very excited coming into this race. A little too much of a cut there going through the beginning of the S section, but he covers it well as he gets through. Sparky Motors, I don't know. Still right there. And look at the man's driving through him, no problem. Proud 78, he's a little further back. Hop on with Diamond Man here. Currently running in the top 5 with Diamond Man. You know, we've talked about it before. He has up and down weeks. One week he's really, really solid. The other weeks, not so much. I mean, Diamond Man has great moments through races, and sometimes he's probably wondering what is going on with me. And we've seen that. I mean, we've seen how great he was in week number 1 at Yas Marina. He ran a very good top 5 car. And then a couple weeks went by, had another solid week, and then Laguna Seca came, did not have the best running at Laguna, and here he is at COTA. Trying to track down Adler Girl. Sean now putting again pressure on ESV Barcode, and you gotta think Sean wants to get by because Sean would like to chase for a win here today. And if you're Bobbert, you're loving every bit of this. Barcode doing a really good job holding his lines, not making any mistakes. But this is where the 2 pit stop thing comes into play. Sean has 2 stops that he can use to try to take advantage if he thinks he's faster. I mean, it's not far-fetched for the RZM driver. He's showing really good pace right now in that M3. Sean going back to work through the S section. Proud 78 now. He's getting through the traffic of the slower of 2 cars in front of him. He made an early pit stop. Last week was not happy with Sparky Motors on how he was raced. Sparky right there in the mix. And it looks like Sparky might go to the pits. Nope. No, he did not. He just went a little further on the inside. I really thought Sparky was showing his hand to the pit entry there. Riddle U coming out of the pits right now. He makes the first stop in the race, driving the Porsche RSR. And battling on the track, ESV Barcode and RZM Sean exchanging for the second spot right now. And Sean looks to the inside. Sean's making a move now on Barcode. Can he make it happen? It's a little inside on the apex right there. Sean's putting work in, and Adler Girl's coming, because this battle is letting the leader get away, and it's letting friends come in that might not actually be friends. So Sean putting all sorts of pressure right now on Barcode for the second spot. And Barcode's really covering the inside. And Barcode knows his buddy Bobberts is in the championship points contention, but right now, another driver is also in that fight, but possibly going to see a penalty today. That's unless the game's having issues with paints. But AMS Design, currently in 6th, had to start the rear of the field, currently in front of Bobberts in the points, and right now tracking down Diamond Man and Adler Girl for 4th and 5th, or I'm sorry, 4th and 5th. So he needs to get up there in position and try to get some more spots, because the top 3 in the points is really tight. Don't have an updated points sheet. Our points man hasn't updated yet, so after this week we'll have an updated point sheet from 2 weeks past. So to apologize for that, we're not able to give you that information, but John's still working on him. I think we'll see a pass eventually, who knows when, but your RZM Sean right now, strategically being behind the driver in front of you sometimes makes you push a little harder, but how long are you willing to stay there until you have to decide, well, hey, maybe I should make a move now. We'll hang on to this battle. There's nothing else going on the racetrack. The battle for second is still on between Barcode and Sean. About let's say lap 15, 16, we'll go through the field and check on every driver. As you guys know, we love to give everyone a little bit of TV time, make sure that they are recognized. Just like we said in seasons past, in any series that we've done, without the drivers, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't have the following that we have. We wouldn't have some of these great championships we've had here in MEA. Probably would be not doing this anymore. I wouldn't be doing this anymore. So definitely get a sooner go through with everybody, as a couple of last weeks I haven't been on point with it as much as I'd normally be. Sean's still putting the pressure on here. And you gotta think maybe Sean's waiting to see what Barcode does here. If Barcode pits, maybe he stays out. I'm not 100% sure. I know for me, a big fan of the M3, depending on the tune, but the one I use specifically, the longer the car goes, the better it seems to get, especially late when those tires really start to get in some of that wear. That M3 can be extremely deadly and really fast, and sometimes pitting early can be very beneficial, but if you can get that car out there on those long stretches and you got the right momentum, the right pace, the right speed. Because right now, Sean, I don't know if Sean's been able to put down any of his best laps yet. And, let's look at the lap counter here. We'll bring that up real quick for those that do enjoy the times. They're all up on your screen right now. Some of the big numbers, I would assume, are people that were in pit road, like JJ Reds and Warren. RZX Screamer, the first car out of the race. And it looks like Adler Girl has pitted as well. So you can really see them trying to use every bit of the track. Take the ticker off now. We'll have it loop again. Let's go check on the field here real quick. RZM Stiggy and Diamond. We just talked about that not long ago, that Stiggy made a early pit stop. So Stiggy on some more used up tire right now, as Diamond Man just recently came out of pit road. A battle for the 6th spot between these two drivers. Adler Girl still in comfortable position in front of both of them. And then further back, RZX Warren is still fending off against Sparky Motors. Let's hop on board with Sparky. Let's see how this is going back here. Warren getting loose through the S's right there. Now these guys are battling in the back of the pack, but there's another driver creeping up on them right now, and that's the leader of ESV Bobberts. Or I'm sorry, Bobberts pitted, so that's ESV Barcode that's actually out on the racetrack leading this battle between him and RZM Sean. Bobberts had made a pit stop. He's back there in the 4th spot now, just got out of pit road and back on the racetrack. SMX Savitar currently in front of him in the 3rd spot. So Savitar tends to run those longer runs than everybody else. He doesn't really come in early or make any. I think he's your typical one on track that tends to run where the car is going to go to, and then we're going to put it in unless he has to with damage and things like that. But right now, 3 cars up front have not pitted. 2 of the 3 in the battle for the race lead. Oh my gosh. And Sparky Motors created an accident, and that just killed all 3 of them. I looked away for 1 second. 1 second. I don't know what all had happened there, and I'm sure you guys are about to tell me, but game's not really telling us the story here. There is damage, and that is possibly Sean's opportunity. I mean, he had driveline damage. Barcode got the worst of it. He's got every bit of damage there. Yep, and like Phoenix said, these two didn't just get held up in traffic. They got dealt with in traffic with Sparky Motors. I do apologize. I did look away for a brief moment, guys, and I did not see the initial creation of the accident, but that shook everything up, and yeah, that's really unfortunate, and obviously Sparky Motors is limping to pit road. So now the question is, can Sean track down Bobbert's Barcode, who's gotten the worst end of the deal, back in 6th now, and he's going to have to really fight to get back up here. Oops, didn't mean to change the camera view there. But yeah, that was super unfortunate. Big break for a couple of the other drivers up front of Adler Girl, Stiggy, and Diamond Man, but yeah, that's a real shame that we just saw those two battling it out, and all I see is spinning around, and I'd love to have a replay. I wish there was a button that I could just say, let's take a look at that. So I do apologize that I wasn't right on the eyeball there. But I guess now we can see what Sean can do, what type of laps he's running. Can he track down Bobberts? Is there too much of a gap between them? I mean, that's going to be really tough. Proud and Savitar, we've seen this story before. You see, we're battling it a couple weeks ago, I should say, at Laguna. Ooh, Proud gets into the back of Savitar. Gets him around. Looks like should be okay. I don't think Proud thought he was going to break that much. And I believe Barcode starting to reel in these guys up front. Him. Maybe not as close as I thought he was. I just want the cars, man. Get back on that battle. And from what I'm getting from IKD, yeah, I would say that it's not, you know, and not to be hard on Sparky, but unfortunately, this isn't a first time for Sparky, and I'd have to personally believe from the officials and me obviously being part of that group are going to be looking over the incident, being that it was right on screen for us. And I have a habit of always catching good stuff on screen, but whether you want to call that good stuff or not, we saw the action on screen, and I'm sure we'll be looking it over and seeing what everyone thinks, because it doesn't sound like what had happened was very good. So we're gonna see what happens with that situation. But you know, as a driver, you don't want to rejoin immaturely, you know, and not only does it pay the price for you, but it pays the price for other people. I know that, you know, we just talked about Proud 78, who got into the back of Savitar, has been very unhappy with Sparky Motors the last couple of weeks, saying that, you know, the guy just was kind of in his way and not really avoiding the leaders coming through. And, you know, as a driver, you got to really pay attention to that. So unfortunate that Sparky got, you know, into that mess with those two drivers, but sometimes it's a responsibility of one to definitely pay attention. Well, I promise you this, Phoenix, the replay is always saved afterwards, so I'll be able to go back in time and see exactly what we got out of it. But yeah, very unfortunate. And it looks like Proud is losing on Savitar, so maybe Savitar got by and Sparky was trying to make an aggressive move on... Sorry, did I say Sparky? I meant Proud was trying to make an aggressive move on Savitar, Sorry, we've been talking about the same person. I don't know if I said the same thing. I have a habit of that sometimes. And look at the man who's back there in the good old 10th. AMS Design on the way and looking to battle some more. He was in the pits not long ago. Let's go through the field. We're at the point of the race where might as well go through the field. Everyone's kind of spread out. And let's do some chitter-chatting of the drivers, as ESV Bobbert still leads this race, driving the number 8 Jaguar. Or if you're over here in the States, we call it Jaguar. I don't really care how you say it. But that being said, ESV Bobbert's going for his first win this season, was on the pole for today's race, had connection issues right before we began. If you're him, I wonder if that's in the back of your mind, but as a driver, you got to stay focused and on track, and he's been doing just that here today, out of trouble's way, and I'm sure that's probably why he made the pit stop to avoid the slower cars. RZM Sean, the points leader, currently running the second spot in the M3 right now, seemed to have a really, really fast car. Does he have the car to catch up to Bobbert's here as we get over the halfway point of the race? Time will tell, but Sean on the move, sitting in that second spot. Behind him, Adler Girl IG missed last week's race at Nürburgring, goes way wide off the corner there. She throws that thing back onto the racetrack. Adler Girl, who's seen a win in this series in the past, trying to get her first victory on the season here today at COTA, currently running in the third spot. It's RZM Stiggy having one of the best days he's ever seen, I would say, as he's had an up and down season all 6 weeks, but today he came in and has really put on a good performance so far here, currently running in the 4th spot. Can he hang on to it? We'll see here as he's starting to track down Adler Girl. In the 5th position, having one of those special races again, it's Diamond Man 2014, no stranger to the show, however, currently running in the 5th place spot. It's ESV Barcode. He's had a couple of wins on the season so far, was involved in the accident with RZM Sean and Sparky Motors, and currently running outside the top 5, but he's gaining some ground on the drivers inside the top 5, and I'm sure he would like to get there sooner than later and maybe be able to try to track down the top 3 spots. Further back, it's AMSB Shadow, who came in late today, started at the rear of the field, and has moved himself inside the top 10 as, well, we've seen a little cutting there through the S section. Not sure if he overdrove the car or not, but definitely something to not continue doing as he's cutting through there. And well, we'll probably have to come check on him again because that's not what you want to be doing. And further behind him, it's SMX Savitar, recently got bumped by Proud 78, battling for position, and has been able to take off ever since then. It looks like Proud's back into the pit road, so behind Savitar is currently 9th place driver, AMS Design, one of the rookies of the series this year, driving for Alien Motorsports, and currently coming into the top 10. He started at the rear of the field with no qualifying here today, currently top 3 in the point standings. Said that he'd love to be able to battle for that championship, but it's going to be really tough to do when you got to start all the way at the rear of the field. So Design hoping for a good result here today, however, probably going to have to hope for no points reduction due to the livery not being applied to the race car for today. In the top 10, it's RZX driver JJ Reds, currently running in the M3, has had one of those rookie years here at MEA, won the Daytona 500 championship earlier this year. We saw him in the NASCAR Cup Series, had put on a couple of really great performances late in that season, got out of his comfort zone, is now into the GT stuff a little bit, getting in that road course race a little more, has improved every single week. Further behind him, it's Riddle U, another rookie of pretty much the season. We've had quite a bit of rookies this season in multiple different series. He's one of them. He's been mixing around the paint scheme. He's normally driving in that yellow 12 machine, but currently out there outside the top 10 in his RSR. Further back is 12th place Proud 78. We talked about him just a little bit ago. He made another pit stop, and that should be his final pit stop of the race, currently right outside the top 10. It's JRFE Blade, currently running in the 13th spot. Blade has had an up and down season as well. He's been doing really, really decent these last few weeks, finally finding some momentum, getting the car dialed in the way he needs to be, currently inside the top 15, though there is 15 drivers on the track. We did lose one of RZX Grimmer and had 20 drivers set for today's race, but doing a great job here in the back half of the season so far for JRFE Blade. It's RZX Warren 57, another driver in the rookie category, as he's got ESV Bobbers to the leader of the race, not too far behind him. RZX Warren coming in as a rookie, like I said, but has made very good improvements throughout the season. Still has a lot to learn as you see him revving the car right through there, getting the tires spinning. But he's currently in front of Sparky Motors, who is in that 15th spot right now, but was in that earlier accident with RZM Sean and ESV Barcode. Got into a bit of a mess there, back on the racetrack, currently in the 15th spot. Can't really say inside the top 15, but he's got some work to do if he wants to get back up there and battle for position with Warren, who he was pretty much battling with throughout the majority of this race. However, he's got into that accident and is gonna have to get a chain or something to hook onto somebody and try to reel in, because right now he's at a disadvantage after the accident. We're gonna move back into the top 5 as we see Diamond right here. You can see ESV Barcode not too far off of him right now, the 6th place spot. Something to keep an eye on. RZM Sean, however, as we pull up the map, hasn't really gained much of anything on ESV Bobberts as he comes across the stripe to head into 10 to go. That's JRFE Blade, one of the cars a lap down in front of him. Blade really hits the brakes there and probably didn't know what to do exactly, but was able to avoid Sean. Sean able to avoid him, and Sean gets to move on in peace. So Sean trying everything he can to get there and battle with Bobberts. And you know, we talked to Sean earlier about him in the championship, him battling with Bobberts, as we hop on with Bobberts right now as he comes out of the S section. And you know, Sean said he was really hoping for a tight championship this season, but obviously doesn't want Bobberts to have any advantage as the season progresses. However, Bobberts had to miss a race, got qualifying points, so he still gained some, but that's what made him lose the 2nd spot in the championship to AMS Design. Bobberts knows the task at hand, still believes that he can, you know, come back from that and win the championship, because, you know, these 5 weeks here in the back half of the schedule, a lot can still happen. You know, disconnects can happen, things can happen, as we saw with the race leader of Sean and ESV Barcode. Earlier, after the accident with Sparky Motors, a lot can still happen. The way that the points are lined up, you can make big gains when people make big mistakes. So it's definitely something that Bobberts has his eyes set on, and right now he's doing a very, very good job trying to get his first win on the season. And for Bobberts, that's going to be big momentum if he's able to hold up here today. Adler Girl IG still sitting in the 3rd spot. She's now dealing with some traffic, or she just got through traffic of Blade. That's RZM Stiggy now having to deal with the traffic. And, you know, Blade's not really a major threat. Blade's one of the guys, you know, he'll get out of your way. No problem there as he gets really wide off of that corner. But Blade's not the driver that most drivers tend to worry about when he's coming up on him. But the man, the myth, the legend, at least this season, or this year I should say, here at MEA, is ESV Barcode, making his way, battling for that 5th spot with Diamond Man. So as Diamond Man starts to try to work his way around traffic, Barcode's trying to get involved in the battle and maybe use that traffic as an advantage point. And Barcode now putting pressure on Diamond Man as he gets by JRFE Blade. Blade got a little bit of a love tap from Barcode right there, but I'm sure no harm there for either of the drivers. Diamond Man now dealing with RZX Warren. by him, no problem. That Barcode's gonna have to wait just a little bit here. And Warren says, no problem, I'm gonna get right out of your way. I know you're looking for a battle between you and Diamond Man. We're gonna let you on through. So Barcode's in the pits. And we'll move up to the front where Bobberts is right now, all alone. He's got absolutely nobody near him, and you just see Sean coming through the S's right now. Hop on with Adler Girl as she gets ready to go around Sparky Motors. Hop on board with Adler Girl, so let's get her point of view dealing with traffic. She looks to the inside, gets by him, no problem. Pull up the race map. And there's a little bit of a battle right now for 6. That's RZM Stiggy and Barcode, and Barcode gets by Stiggy, no problem. See what Proud's doing, all by himself. It's not all by himself, he's right behind AMS Design. Blade crash. Who is that? That's Warren. Warren crashed, and Warren crashed going into pit road, so not sure how that happened. Should be okay. Trying to find something on the track here we can keep our eyes on, but pretty much everybody's spread out at this point. Let's chill with Sean, as he's currently running in the 2nd spot right now. Robert's down the, I would say, the back straight. Your race leader, ESE Bobberts. Well, we're at that point where I have really nothing to say much about. The battle we had is no longer there. Oh, but Proud got by design. Well, I'm not Proud.
Design got by Beast. So battle for the 8th spot between two AMS drivers. Design and Beast Shadow. One in the M6, one in the M3. Oh, but they hit. And Diamond Man. Design. I don't know. Man, they're really racing each other right now. They're throwing haymakers at each other. Check on his car. I'm not sure he's got any damage. Doesn't look like it, but Shadow and him are both throwing stuff at one another. I'm not sure if the second from Design was out of displeasure or not, but definitely racing each other hard. Crowd just sitting back there. Design getting a little wide. Design going back to work on Beast Shadow. Crowd trying to be in the mix, just waiting for something to happen. With Design able to get by Beast Shadow, Crowd's now having an opportunity to take charge here while dealing with traffic. Warren just gets out of the way. No problem there. And, ooh, a door slam by Proud 78 right there against Beast Shadow. Oh, but Beast hits him back. I'm not sure if there's some displeasure on the track between drivers right now, but Beast just gave him the position right back. So, let's go check on the leaders here. See what's going on. Looks like Barcode trying to get back into the top 5, chasing down Adler Girl right now. Sean made a pit stop. Bobbert's made a pit stop. Bobbert's dealing with traffic. Or looked like he was dealing with traffic. There's two cars battling. Who are they? Nope, that's lap car and lap car. One that's a couple more laps down. Alright, so Diamond Man still is leading right now and staying out. So Diamond Man has another pit stop to go. I would say the same for Savitar, being that Adler Girl behind him, and she's doing a pretty good job today, staying consistent for the most part, not making any big mistakes. Four laps to go in this race. Post-race interviews coming up after. And Bobbert's, but Bobbert's, you know, probably feeling really good. I mean, he's had a very very struggling of a season, to say the least. Not has been meeting the expectations he's probably normal to seeing out of himself, and he's been really hard on himself. We talked to him on race interviews after races. We talked with him outside of live streaming, and been waiting for one of these days to really click. And tell you what, the nighttime version we got was the evening time version here at COTA. We didn't get, I mean, maybe that's for us here on the replay side, but these drivers look like they got the good end of a deal here when it comes to how these conditions go. I mean, that accident with Barcode, Sean, and Sparky Motors, that could have been a lot worse, in another situation if these conditions were pitch black and we only depended on the headlights. So I really think that maybe the field got away with one here today, but Diamond Man's now into the pits. Bobbich retakes the lead, so once Savitar goes in the pit road for the second time, we're going to definitely, and he goes in right now, we're going to see these drivers, we're going to see really where everyone's at on the track and how they're going to do, as this will give Barcode a chance back into the top 5 and try to get another spot as a few laps to go. So, Stiggy and Diamond Man, they're going at it, battling for that 5th spot. And I know Stiggy's really hungry for a top 5. He hasn't had the season he would like to have. Still working hard from RZM. Stiggy, the guy's been very impressive. He gives Diamond just a little tap, trying to give him a little bit of a rattle. Can Stiggy pull off a top 5 here at COTA? Diamond Man, definitely doesn't want to give it up. He's seen good weeks. He hasn't really had to fight too much late. And look at the room that he's just giving Stiggy right there. They're just really duking it out and not giving an inch. Oh my gosh. Door to door, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we're getting right now. And oh man, just fighting for that spot. I mean, these two ain't giving an inch. Wow. Really working hard is RZM Stiggy. We'll sit here as I don't really think we have much to cover. Barcode is starting to creep up on Adler Girl. Really don't got much of anywhere else. Savitar's in front of Design. Battle for 9th between Proud and Design. I mean, we do got a couple out there, but we're gonna sit on the top 5 battle right now. See what Stiggy and Diamond do here. They are getting up to Sparky Motors. I'm sure everyone's hanging on here. Stiggy trying to get his nose in there. It's a tough place to try to make a side-by-side situation. Oh, and Sparky Motors wrecks coming out of the S's. He spins around. And that's a clear door opening for Diamond Man 2014 and RCM Stiggy. Stiggy tries to throw it to the inside. Gets deep into that corner. Diamond Man should have the exit, and he does. Sparky Motors goes around. Boy, oh boy. That could have been a lot worse if they were any closer and his car would have went anywhere else. Stiggy gets to the outside door of Diamond, trying to make the outside happen here. Diamond just won't give him an inch. Stiggy trying to get that elusive top 5. He's been fighting all season long with every car he's driven, not getting good qualifyings the way he'd like to get him, not having the race come to him the way he wants it to come to him. And everything this week coming up to the race has clicked for him, and excitement and passion from Stiggy. You know he wants this. And Diamond, you know, he's seen some success this season, hasn't had the car every week, but you know, he just does not want to give this up. He's fighting really good in the points, and these two are going head to head right now. It's been really fun to watch. Barcode creeping up on Adler, trying to get one more spot. I don't think he's gonna get it though. She's really good on pace right now. I don't think she's gonna battle too much. And I'm not sure what happened to Zion. Is he still on Savitar? He is. Battle for 7th going on right now. And then behind them, battle for 9th. Proud was able to get by AMSB Shadow. Everyone's really duking it out right now. It's been an interesting race. We've seen different versions of different things, but Stiggy still working on Diamond Man for that 5th spot. I'm sure Stiggy wants to have that good old interview for the first time this season. I don't believe he's had a top 5. Oh, he throws it really deep into the inside. He throws it too deep. Diamond Man 2014 with a nice crossover right there, retains the 5th spot. Stiggy doing everything he can, just cannot clear it. Good opportunity right there, wasted. I wouldn't say it was wasted. I'd say it was overdriven, and look at them, he's trying to throw in the car there. Oh man. They're going at it. Meanwhile, race leader ESV Bobberts coming around that final corner. White flag in the air, 1 to go here at COTA. Going for his first win of the season. Bobberts comes across the stripe. Meanwhile, Diamond still holding on for dear life against RZM Stiggy. Who thought we were going to have a couple of battles here late in this race, but got some good stuff going on right now. And if you're tuning in late, round 6 here in the MEA GT Championship Series, 1 to go here, white flag for all the drivers. Roberts leads, trying to get his first win on the season, battle for 5th here. Stiggy going for his first top 5 of the season. ESP Barcode and Sean earlier got into a big accident with Sparky Motors. Barcode not able to, I don't think he's going to get to Adler. Oh, he does get to Adler. They're currently a battle for the 3rd spot. Adler now having to play defense against ESV Barcode. Adler's been really, really good all race long. She hasn't had to deal with too many things, hasn't had to defend too much. Can she outduel the M6? We'll hop back onto that 5th place battle. Roberts got a huge straight on Sean right there. Sean has no answer for him. Does Adler cover the inside, however? Does Barcode find a way to outbreak her? This is a chance for an opportunity if he can make it happen. I don't know how aggressive he's going to be. I don't know how aggressive she's going to be. He looks to the inside, but Adler was there, and she closes the door on Barcode. Gets really wide, however, Barcode gets alongside her just barely. Still side by side off the edge. She comes around, fending off Barcode again. We'll come back to it real quick, but ESV Barcode, or I'm sorry, Bobberts for the final time comes across the line as a winner here at MEA in the GT Championship Series. His first win on the series here at COTA. RZM Sean's going to bring it home 2nd. One chance left for Barcode. Does he throw it? He looks at it to the inside. Can she hold on? And she does. And Adler Girl is going to take home 3rd. Barcode 4th. Diamond still holding on to the 5th spot. Coming around the final bend.
He's going to be okay. Stiggy must have took an opportunity and wasn't able to get the job done. Stiggy will bring it home 6th. AMS Design comes from the rear of the field, was able to get by SMX Savitar with a few to go. Savitar gave him everything he could handle, but Design able to get through it all. He's going to bring that thing home 7th. Savitar should bring it home 8th, 9th, battling with Beast Shadow. Oh, but Proud gets really loose off the corner there. Beast Shadow lays off. These two have been going door to door. Shadow's been dooring everybody that he's raced with. I don't know. I just don't know. That's just what I've seen. But Proud able to hang on, it looks like. Beast Shadow, one more opportunity. Shadow does throw it to the inside. He clips Proud and around. Proud goes. And that's going to be it for right there. He'll give it back to Proud. 9th for Proud. 10th for Beast Shadow. 11th for RZX JJ Reds. A good result for JJ Reds. He's been really consistent this season. Riddle U might have been the lone RSR on the racetrack here today, but the best RSR for the week, as he wasn't afraid to pull it on out. There's a few other drivers didn't make it today that were also in it. He's going to bring that bad boy home 12th. JRFE Blade, he's going to, he had a solid day, stay out of trouble. Didn't get involved in any real bad accidents. I think seen a couple of laps from the leaders, but nonetheless, he's going to bring that thing home 13th. We're going to get ready for post-race interviews coming up next. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Top 5 as RZX Warren, currently in 14th on his final lap of the race. Sparky Motors, he's got another lap or so, but he's going to bring that thing home 15th. But ESV Bobberts, your race winner here today. Let's get a talk to the top 5. Stay tuned. We'll be back momentarily. And we are now getting them in here. And we will talk to some of the drivers after the race here. Diamond Man, and I believe Adler Girl will be sending us in their thoughts from the race. So we'll speak to them here very, very soon. So all I think we need is Sean. I think we'll be ready to start this one. So let's just wait and see if we get Sean in here. And for those guys that did just join the broadcast, please make sure your audio's on. Please keep everything PG today as best you can. Hold on 1 second. Alright, so we're still waiting on Sean. I don't know where Sean is. He's probably walked away from his controller for a minute. We'll send him another invite. Everybody else in the party, can you hear me? Oh, there's Bobberts. Forgot about Bobberts. And there's Sean. Alright, so we got everybody in here. I don't know. We'll get Adler Girl. And Adler's actually responding to everything right now. So let's have the interview as we wait for Sparky Motors to finish up here. As probably a disappointing day for a couple of those drivers from an earlier accident that we did catch the tail end of, and I do have it on screen. Sparky, I don't think, made it to the finish line, so that is a wrap as we pull up the final results here. And ESV Bobberts, is your race winner. RCM Sean 2nd, 3rd Adler Girl IG, 4th ESV Barcode, and rounding out your top 5, Diamond 2014. And we're going to start with Diamond 2014. He gave me just a little bit of information from the race, so it's going to be short and sweet from Diamond 2014. finishing 5th overall today. Basically, he let us know that the racing was okay. He was not a real fan of this track, feels that the track limits aren't great for this type of racing, but nonetheless, a top 5 finish for him. He wanted to congratulate Adler Girl for a good result as well. That's Diamond 2014 finishing 5th today here at COTA. We're going to get on to ESV Barcode, and Barcode, a tough race for you here today. You were one of the few M6s, actually 2 M6s on the racetrack with AMS Design, who started at the tail of the field. But that's not the real story here today for you. The real story of the day for you is battling with Sean for the 2nd spot. Majority of the race, you guys were 1-2 when an accident happened with you guys and Sparking Motors. I personally looked away for just a minute, came back, and I just saw people spinning around. So I got a little tale of the story from somebody watching saying that Sparky made a bad decision re-entering on the track. But I'd like to get your thoughts on the situation and how hard was it to battle your way back into the top 5 and get that 4th place finish and having a shot against Adler Girl there late. And make sure you guys' audio is on, please.
I mean, it was good battling Sean. It was kind of difficult because I had really bad brakes in this car, but yeah, I saw Sparky on the left. He clearly spun out at some point, and he was on the left ghosted, so I assumed he'd stay there. He decided to rejoin 90 degrees across in front of me and Sean. I just had no time to react to that.
And like I said, I wasn't able to see the incident personally. I just saw the end result of it when I turned my head back. Do you feel it was very avoidable, and just how hard is that for you as a driver battling, and especially in the top 5, not only that, a top 3 spot on the podium, how hard is that for you mentally to kind of rebound and get back in gear, especially when you took damage from the incident?
I mean, it sucks. I mean, I just kind of got over it quickly and just started to try to pull back what I could for the end, so it's not bad at all.
And there late you were able to track back down a few of those spots you lost from Stiggy and Diamond Man, but then you got to Adler Girl with 1 to go, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't think you had enough time to really get there, but you found the pace there late, and you got to her, you had an opportunity, she was able to close that inside off, and it seemed like that was just kind of the last opportunity you had to get by her. Take us through that.
Yeah, I mean, in the first corner she kind of just defended thin air. There was no reason to do that, which kind of brought me in for a chance to overtake, but yeah, I kind of broke too early at the end of the straight, so I couldn't really pass after that because the rest of the track suited the Jag really well.
Well, nonetheless, Barcode, we normally don't get much to talk with you about, but today you had quite the story, quite the race. Nonetheless, was able to regroup from the incident, get a top 5 out, finishing 4th overall. Obviously not the result you were hoping to have today, but a good result nonetheless. But congratulations on fighting through all that adversity and being able to finish in the top 5.
Yeah, thank you.
And that was ESV Barcode, 4th overall today. Adler Girl IG, we can't really personally speak to her. She doesn't really speak English too well, but she basically gave me the rundown that her race went really well. She said she felt really nervous those last few laps against Barcode, and she wanted to mention that she almost lost the 3rd place because of it, but nonetheless she seemed to be very pleased with her result today, finishing 3rd. That was Adler Girl IG, and a solid run by her. No really big mistakes from Adler Girl today, just solid racing all around. And so we'll move up and we'll speak to RZM Sean, the points leader, and we just got done talking about the battle on the track with ESV Barcode, and just like Barcode, you were also involved in that accident, Sean, and just very unfortunate situation for you guys and battling. And it seemed like a lot of the race, he was talking about he just didn't have the braking through this race, and you seem to have the pace. You seem to have what it took to possibly battle for the lead here today, but you just never had an opportunity. You weren't able to get by Barcode, and then the big accident happened, but that set you back more than it helped you. Obviously, and it just seemed like at that point, you were probably content with 2nd, but obviously that's not the way you wanted to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was really enjoying the battle with Barcodes, and that's not how you want a battle like that to end. But yeah, I think a lot of my pace came from just following Barcode's lines, seeing where he broke, and just adjusting myself to that. Because the pace sort of dropped off a little once I had to do a bit more of the work by myself. But yeah, it's just really unfortunate in the end.
And we talk about the pace you had, and did you, and you guys, you know, to be honest with you, you guys were not losing a lot of time to Bobberts early on in that race until you started being able to put a little pressure on him. Did you feel if you could have gotten by him that you would have been able to keep that pace and maybe track down Bobberts the way that that race was going for you?
Perhaps, but it definitely would have been tough.
And take us through the accident when you and Barcode finally got the Sparky Motors. You know, obviously he gave us his take. What was your take on the situation, and how much did that affect you mentally through the race?
Yeah, well, coming into like that section, I saw him on the side of the track, and I thought he was just going to stay there and sort of pull out once we'd gone past. But last second he pulled out, and yeah, Barcode hit him, and I didn't have time to react myself either. And yeah, I mean, I just tried to put it behind me as best as I could and just finish the rest of the race, really.
You know, as a driver, you know, it's real easy to get frustrated in the moment, and you know, you guys tend to be pretty level-headed. I mean, you know, over the years that I've been, you know, covering racing here in esports and then MEA, there's a very few select group of drivers that can really put a situation like that behind them, where so many drivers are in the moment and it tends to affect their race more. How is it that easy for you as a driver to put a bad situation behind you like that and continue to move forward? Or does it really frustrate you a lot and you just have to suck it up and move forward? I mean, what would be your take personally?
I think that it was a lot easier for me, given that I maintained sort of track position at least. I certainly got the Barcode got the worst of it out of that situation. But yeah, you've just got to. I have had it where I've been very frustrated by something like that, and it has put me off. But you just got to focus on making the best out of the rest of the race, and yeah, that's it really.
Well, congratulations, Sean, on fighting through adversity as well. You obviously didn't have the worst end of it, but still was part of it. Second overall today, still leader in the championship points, but it looks like Bauer's got about 15 extra points on you this week, I would say, if I have my math correct. But regardless, we look forward to seeing you next week, and good job today with a solid result.
Thank you.
And that was RZM Sean, ladies and gentlemen, second overall to today's race. And we're going to talk to the race winner, first time this season, ESV Bobberts. And Bobberts, you know, this whole season up to this point, you just have not seemed comfortable in any of your races. You know, you've expressed displeasure, frustrations, and you know, your expectations of yourself are typically very, very high as a driver. Not the season you've liked to have. Week one was a great run for you and Sean, and then it just seemed like after that things were not going according to plan. You came in tonight very confident. You felt very good in the car, you told me before the race, and you looked great out there today. Wasn't really able to get away from Barcode and Sean early, but you started to kind of get away. Then their accident happened, and the rest was history. You know, it seemed that your race today went as perfect as it could have been all season.
It's probably one of the dullest races I've ever had, but you take those when they come, and if it means you get a win out of it, then you're going to take it every day of the week. So yeah, just it's, you know, as you said, the first half of the season has been tough, apart from the week one when Sean and I had our, you know, duel there for every lap at Yas Marina. But yeah, it's just been a frustrating 4 rounds since then for one reason or another, so it's just good to finally get that win.
And you know, we all know that you had missed 1 week. Were able to qualify, but that really hurt you in the points championship. Didn't push you out of the points championship yet. Obviously, if you have more weeks like this, that narrative can highly change. A lot of racing still to come. A lot of things can happen. But for you as a driver to deal with that much stress, I would call it stress, you know, just a lot of problems each and every week. It can be really easy to just kind of fold and just be like, you know what, it's not going to be my season. I'm just going to run, you know, consistently. I'm not going to go and try to, you know, challenge for it. You are kind of different. You're always, you know, whenever we talk, you always talk about what can I do better? How can I get to this point? I know I can do this. And then on top of that, when you're in a race like this and you're having the dull race, how hard is it for you to mentally just stay in the game, not let up? Because sometimes people do that and it can cost them.
you've just got to make sure that you keep your consistency going. I mean, you can easily just get distracted by, if because there's nobody around you, maybe that you just get distracted quite easily by anything that there is going on. Whether you look at where people are on the mini map or just see something in the distance, or some lights. You never know. So you've just got to just stay focused, keep the laps going, keep the consistency. And yeah, I had a couple of laps where they were terrible, but I had quite a lot of laps that were very good. And the most annoying thing out of that race was not getting a quicker clean lap by messing it up too many times. But no, in the end, it was comfortable, and I don't think the gap really says how close really that race should have been. It was 15 seconds or so at the end, but I think Sean made a few mistakes, and obviously the guy, he and Balcode unfortunately had that incident, so it would have been close for sure. I think I had the pace. Well, I believe I had the pace today, but main thing is now for the next 4 rounds, got to keep that momentum going.
And last question for you. I don't want to keep you over too long here, but going into the remaining weeks, what is going to be the biggest challenge? This is a big win for you, the first one on the season. Definitely great points. These first place wins can definitely change the outcome of a championship, and between first and second, we all know that's a 10-point gap. So what is going to be the biggest challenge? Sean has shown a lot of strength in the first half of the season. What do you have in the second half that you feel that could really overachieve the disadvantage you have missing a week?
The main thing is just to rack up the consistent top place finishes. If it means having to win every week, then that's what it's going to have to take. And for Sean to perhaps maybe have at least one bad week, but that's the problem. Sean is an excellent driver. He's not at the top for no reason. He's insanely quick. So at the end of the day, if it means you have to track him down, that's what you got to do. You got to track him down. Make sure I've got to just try and beat him. That's the goal. That's all you can do. But it will be tough.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations on your first win of the season, and we look forward to seeing you possibly more often in this position in the future. But it's going to be a challenge, and I know that you're up for it. But congratulations.
Thank you.
And that was ESV Bobberts, ladies and gentlemen, our third race winner on the season, with Sean and Barcode being the other 2 drivers getting some wins this year here at the GT Championship Series. And talk about a really interesting race from a bunch of different points of view. We've seen stretching out, we've seen side by side, we've seen some unfortunate accidents, and we've seen some really hard racing out there today at a track that typically can stretch out pretty much any point of the race. So really, really good racing by the drivers here today. And nonetheless, I think the skybox was their best friend, because they were not in the pitch black, at least from our point of view. But nonetheless, thank you for watching once again. I'm SSR Mayhem. You are watching round number 6 of the MEA GT Championship Series here at the Circuit of the Americas. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.